The Cecil Soil Conservation District proudly presents Emily Manlove as our 2008 Outstanding Cooperator of the Year. Swan Harbor Farm is the home farm of the Manlove family. Swan Harbor is located off of Mill Lane near Cecilton. The farm borders Scotchman's Creek to the north and an old mill pond to the west. A tributary of Scotchman's Creek bisects the farm and effectively creates two parcels, known by the family as Swan Harbor and the Little Farm. Altogether, Swan Harbor Farm comprises 520 acres. There are 300 acres of tillable cropland, ranging from nearly level to strongly sloping, but all are very productive. 157 acres of forest are spread out across the farm, mostly in ravines and on steep banks along stream bottoms. The first owner of Swan Harbor Farm was Michael Earl. The swans that at one time nested along Scotchman's Creek inspired Michael Earl to give the farm its name. His status as a retired sea captain may have contributed harbor to the name. 6 generations of Emily's family have been involved with farming at Swan Harbor. Their involvement began with Eben and Mary Clark, followed by their son William. William and Laura Ellen Clark had 4 daughters who were ahead of their time in educational and professional achievements. The sisters had a tremendous influence on the succeeding generation. Marion was an attorney, Mary a high school principal, Laura a university professor, and Isabel a farmer. Isabel married Edgar Manlove in 1925. Edgar died at a young age, leaving Isabel a widow with 5 small children. Isabel raised the children and managed the farm for almost 30 years, guiding the farm through the Great Depression and World War II. 2 of Isabel's children, Emily and William C., continued to care for the farm. Emily's interest in gardening and preserving the impressive grounds has added beauty, character, and an air of authenticity to the farmstead that can be attained only through many years of care and attention. The farmstead encompasses about 10 acres. The farm was protected from future development in 1995 through a permanent easement under the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation. The proceeds from the easement sale were reinvested in the restoration of the historical buildings on the farm and used toward the many conservation practices. The original house was built in 1790. The outbuildings include a meat house, a lard house for processing hogs, an ice house, a dairy barn, a carriage house, a loafing shed, and a horse stable. William Manlove operated a dairy on the farm from 1962 until the 1970s. After the dairy closed, the farm transitioned to a no-till grain operation. The majority of the tillable land was leased to William and Julian Spry in the 1980s. The next generations, Clark Manlove and his sons Brian and Kyle, continue to farm about 60 acres of land centered on the farmstead at Swan Harbor. The Manloves grow hay, small grains, straw, cover crops, soybeans, and corn, and raise a herd of beef cows and calves. The herd is mainly Herefords and grazes several grass paddocks adjacent to the farmstead. Grandson Kyle raises 4-H animals at Swan Harbor. Kyle showed his Grand Champion dairy steer at the Cecil County Fair this past summer. He also enjoys caring for his prize-winning hogs. Kyle was the first 4-H member to be honored with the Carl Stafford Fair Spirit Award. Grandson Brian also helps to care for and farm the land at Swan Harbor. He is currently enrolled in the Baltimore County Fire School, which he hopes to complete this winter. Emily is proud that Kyle is continuing his education at the Ohio State University Agricultural Technical Institute. She is also proud of Brian's dedication to good stewardship of the land and of his hard work to become a firefighter. The next generation of Spry brothers continue to farm and care for the balance of the land at Swan Harbor. Both the Manloves and the Sprys ensure that all land at Swan Harbor is farmed according to an updated and current conservation plan. The Sprys' commitment to conservation has involved decades of planting with no-till equipment. Each year, Swan Harbor is planted according to a planned crop rotation. corn is planted no-till into soybean residues. After the corn is harvested, a small grain cover crop is sown. The next spring, the cover crop is sprayed and full-season soybeans are no-till planted. Once the soybeans are harvested, wheat or barley is drilled for a small grain crop. When the grain and straw are harvested, double-crop soybeans are planted in midsummer and harvested in the fall. A cover crop is sown for the winter. Emily states that it is cost-effective to implement preventative care on the farm. Many of these measures have included best management practices. The Spry brothers are appreciative of the many soil conservation best management practices implemented by the Manlove family over the years. They are conscientious about the maintenance and use of these BMPs. For example, great care has been taken to spray around this newly constructed grassed waterway. In addition to implementing conservation farming techniques in their respective operations, the Manloves and Sprys have found it necessary to control gully and head-cutting erosion on many areas of the farm. Several thousand feet of grassed waterways have been built since the 1950s. During waterway construction, gullies are regraded and shaped to be easily crossed. In some areas, drain tiles and stone are installed to successfully establish the waterway. Grass seed, erosion control matting, and straw mulch are applied to get the seeding off to a good start. Often, seemingly insignificant drainage ways, upon reaching the wood's edge, expand into very large eroding ravines. Grade stabilization structures have been constructed on the property to control eroding areas. Rock or pipe grade stabilization structures collect runoff at the field level and convey it to a safe and stable outlet in the wooded ravine channel below. Construction involves clearing to install the rock or pipe and grading a berm at the field edge to gather and direct the runoff to the inlet. Once the structure is completed, seeding, matting, and mulch finish the job. Many of these grassed waterway and grade stabilization structures have been working in combination for over 20 years thanks to the Manlove's commitment to conservation. Grassed filter strips and field borders are a simple but highly effective conservation practice with a multitude of benefits for the farm. The filter strips and borders vary in width but average 30 feet wide. Wider borders encompass the head of a pipe structure and protect steep field edges. Some of the filter strips and borders are enrolled in the Conservation Reserve Program and are planted with specific grasses and mowed during certain dates to promote and encourage wildlife, both welcome and not so welcome. These grassed areas are valuable for wildlife habitat, soil and nutrient trapping, stabilization of field edges, maintenance of the constantly encroaching wood's edge, and getting around the farm during all seasons. The farm is rich with wildlife, including eagles, deer, turkey, and an abundance of geese which have replaced the once bountiful bobwhite quail. Over the past few decades, the farm has switched from horse-drawn equipment to tractors. Swan Harbor has changed from a dairy operation to a crop operation. The property has changed hands but remained in the family. Thanks to Emily Manlove and preceding generations, future generations will have an opportunity to continue farming at Swan Harbor. The Cecil Soil Conservation District honors Emily Manlove and her commitment to conservation and preservation of the historic value of Swan Harbor Farm.